Hey there, everyone. So I've been noticing a lot of people in my clan, especially all my FMs, do need a little bit of guidance on how to play Force Master on Blade and Soul Neo. So here I am to give my input on how to play the class. A little bit of background about me is that I have played FM for about 4 years. I played on the live servers from the start of Blade and Soul to about the end of ET. So it was about 3 to 4 years of playing this class. So I'm just going to give you guys a whole entire info dump on what I know about the class and how to be successful on Blade Soul Neo. So let's go over the equipment first. All right, so I'm just going to hover over everything real quick here so you guys can see. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what you need in order to be successful about this on this class. So first of all, you need crit rate. Why is crit rate important? Because crit rate is directly affecting how much damage you do, and also it affects the amount of focus you are regenning on this class. At the start of Blade Soul Neo, you're going to have a lot of focus issues on this class, and you want to minimize the amount of focus issues. Therefore, you want to increase your critical rate. By doing this, you'll increase your DPS uptime, and also you won't run out of chi. So very important to have critical rate, and coincidingly, you need to have critical damage, right? This augments your critical rate, because every time you crit, you do more damage, right? So those are two main stats. Let's go over the books. So here's a little infographic on all the books that you're going to need, right? Take a screenshot or whatever you want. And I'm just about to go through some of the skills. So let's start. The basis of FM is that we have two separate stances. We have Ice Stance, controlled by Frost Palm and Dragon Whirl. And we have Blazing Palm, which is Fire Stance, controlled by your 2. For the first green book that you are going to want, we are going to want Frost Palm. What Frost Palm does is that it'll change you to Ice Stance. It costs 2 focus to cast at the start, right? But once you get a green book on it, it'll go from 2 to 1, right? Very significant, because this makes it so that your rotation is actually more cost effective, because instead of using 3 focus every time you do a rotation, it'll only cost 2. Why will it only cost 2? Because Blazing Palm. Blazing Palm will recover 1 focus every time you use it. And also, if you have the green book for it, every time you crit, you gain an additional focus. Beautiful, beautiful skill. Side note, if you're going to continue playing this class, don't you dare get purple Blazing Palm. Everyone is going to hate you. Every FM in your clan, every FM in your family, everyone, right? Don't use Detonation Blazing Palm. Use this. And if you really want a purple skill on this specifically, just do this, right? So what? Just don't use this. Anyways, the great thing about this skill, right? If you're going to get a blue book, which is going to be more accessible once we get to Moonwater Plains here, if you're going to get a blue book, use it on Frostpalm. It'll make it a 0 cost, and so when you do your rotation, so your RMB, Frostpalm, 0, your Blazing Palm, which is going to be 1, so you're going to go +1, then you're going to use 2 on Blazing Beam. Let's talk about Blazing Beam right now. So it's the upgraded form of Dragon Char. Don't use Dragon Char. It's terrible, right? It used to be good for PvP, but they got rid of the Daze variant on Blade Soul Neo. So it's essentially worthless here. Use Blazing Beam if you're going Fire FM. Do note that the additional damage and the base damage can critical strike on this skill. So this is your main DPS upkeep. So definitely make sure that you have the critical rate and critical damage in order to supplement this. It costs 2 focus. If you have 0 cost Frostpalm and you have a crit on Blazing Palm, you'll gain 2 focus, then you'll just use 2 focus on Blazing Beam. So you go essentially net 0, which is perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You always want to have damage upkeep. Next important part, do note it says when something is burning, it does the additional damage. How do you apply burn? Well, you apply burn through this. It's the evolved form of Heartstopper. It's called Shockfire. This skill tree, the right skill tree is for Ice PvE. This second to the right is going to be Fire PvE. The second to the left is going to be for Ice PvP. And the second to the left, the very left is going to be for Fire PvP. You could also end up using this on, you could also use this for both specs. You could actually use either of these. I like the imitation more because it actually does apply a 5 meter knockback if you counter something, which is nice. Anyways, what Shockfire says is that when you hit something with, if you activate this on a target with 5 embers, you'll blow it up and you'll inflict burn for 10 seconds. You'll recover 3 focus when you use the skill. And not only that, you'll be able to insta-cast Inferno for a short period of time. Let's talk about Inferno. Inferno is going to be your Fire X skill, right? It's essentially just your target nuke. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. Definitely use a green book to make it into Fiend Fire. It'll increase the range attack speed. Increase your range attack speed for a brief amount of time. It also inflicts a burn for 10 seconds. When you get extra blue books, I would recommend leveling it into the blue variant, right? This will just make it so that you could cast it twice. Ridiculous damage. Ridiculous damage. Also, the focus cost goes down by 1. So it only costs 4 to double cast. It only costs 2 to double cast, which is great. The next book that you're going to want is going to be Green Balefire, right here. It's the evolved version of Short Fuse. Essentially, it just applies a burn, and it'll also give you focus recovery. Once you get a blue book, it'll actually double the amount of focus and also give you 2 extra seconds. So this is net 20 focus recovery against net 8 focus recovery. All right, I'm going to talk about some optional books now. I have Green Book on Dual Dragon, right? It just increases damage. It's part of my damage rotation. So it's nice to have the extra damage being output, right? So this is a 1000 damage difference. Really, really strong, especially when you crit. Speaking of dual dragons, it also will give you 5 focus back. Dragon Frost will also give 5 focus back. So if you rotate in between Dragon Frost and dual dragons, you'll have a lot easier of a time to upkeep your damage. How do I activate dual dragons? Well, if you have a flame orbit and you have a ice orbit, you can cast this. If you have a flame orbit and you're in flame stance, you can use Dragon Blaze. And if you have an ice orbit while you're in ice stance, you can use Dragon Frost. If you have both at the same time, you'll be able to use dual dragon. Okay. Another really nice option it's essentially mandatory for all FMs is Frost Sheath. Frost Sheath is your party iframe. Very, very important for dungeon runs. People need iframes. Protect your parties from dying from stupid mess ups, right? Also protect your party from, essentially death most of the time. This is going to be very, very important for your Poron runs, right? Because the Ute boss will have a steam attack that hits everyone, and you just activate this and it protects everyone. It's great, right? So get Sheath. Another really nice skill to get is either Heatwave or Skyburn. It's your choice. It's your knockdowns. I believe Skyburn is better because this is actually a 60-meter range instead of the the 2-meter. So probably do Skyburn. I have Heatwave because that's what I just have. I don't want to spend the Valor Stones. Okay, then let's talk about the other skill that you might want later on, which is going to be Ice Beam. This is a blue skill, so this is probably going to be your 3rd or 4th blue skill. It's a stun. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's a stun. You also have this, which is your 4. It's called Light 'em Up. It pulls everything 5 times, and while this is active, you can also activate Multiple Blaze. Multiple Blaze is just a nuke for AoE. So it's good. It's good. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit of a DPS rotation. All right, so let's go ahead and show off how we are going to do our rotations here. So what FM rotation is going to look like, I'll go through it slowly here at the start, then I'll shut up and you can just observe, right? So it's going to be R&B, LNB, 2. R&B, LNB, 2, R&B, LNB, 2, R&B, LNB, 2, R&B, LNB, 2. Okay, then when you get your dual dragons, you'll be able to activate dual dragons and you can hit one at the same time. That'll essentially give me a full chi bar, right? Then you just continue DPSing. I'm going to weave in a 1 into my combo here. I'm running low on chi, so I'm going to go LMB, RMB. Typically, you wouldn't have dual dragons up at the time. I do have my badge off. You would have this skill. You would have Dragon Frost up at the time. So I would just activate Dragon Frost, get my chi back. I'll go to LMB, I'll activate Dragon Blaze. Then I'll just do a rotation, then 1, then rotation X, rotation 2, rotation C, rotation 2, rotation F, rotation 2, rotation 2, right? Hopefully this is making sense to everyone. Cool. That right there was F2 instead of F rotation. But yeah, that's the rotation. I don't really need to explain too much. RMB LMB 2. Then you can just weave in things in between. So it could be RMB LMB C, RMB LMB 1, RMB LMB whatever, right? If you need chi, you can always just end up using your 3. You can also end up using your X, your Z skill, right? Then you can just keep rotating. That's how you're going to be maintaining most of your chi in other capacities, right? The main way would be just dual dragons, and also would be your Dragon Frost. Also one routine gives you chi back. I hope you guys found this very informative. If you guys need any more information, I'll see what I can do about it. If you guys want to DM via Whisper, I'm on Heaven's Reach. Right? Thanks for watching.